Once again, we are back on Boond Soch ki Tea Talk Train of Thought with a series of an episode. On this Tea Talk platform, we invite various prominent personalities from the diversified field to come and share their experience. We had the experts from FMCG, from ad industry, from education, and from different diversified field. In each and every episode, we try and ensure the experts who are coming here, they are sharing their story, their word of and wisdom, their journey, and the challenges to what they have faced in their life, where the T-Talk audience can provide meaningful learning. Today episodes and discussion we are going to have as far as the agriculture part which is concerned. The agriculture contributes the biggest proportions to the Indian national economic, and the area accounts for a bulk of an country population. Many economic problems lie in the agriculture and the rural economy. For solving this problem, the various efforts has been made from several decades, and I'm sure many still, I think many of the government bodies and the NGOs are making those kind of efforts which are there. Agriculture is an productive occupation, and the essential for an agriculture production is a capital. But equally, you will see like there are the various challenges which are there. There is a lack of finance. Because of lack of finance, they are unable to make the use of time, the labor, and the productive capacity of land. Agriculture and the allied sectors are considered to be the main stay of an Indian economy, which contributes around about 18% to an GDP, and about 65.7% of an population are dependent on the agriculture for an livelihood. Component of an allied agriculture activities like dairy, poultry, fisheries, mushrooms, so on and so forth. So there are the various challenges which are there as far as agriculture sector which is concerned. Today on this Tea Talk platform, we are having the expert from the agriculture field, Dr. Bharat Kulkarni. Sir, welcome to Tea Talk Boond Soch ki.
Thank you very much, sir. It's a pleasure being here.
Thank you very much for sparing your valuable time.
Pleasure.
A brief introduction of Dr. Bharat Kulkarni is a consultant in the policy advisory and the development of an agriculture value chain. Worked with the agencies like United Nations as economist, and has been consultant to the international organization like the World Bank, UN, ITC, IFC, and many more. He is a renowned name in the agriculture policies globally and has been advisee of various government on the agriculture policies and the market development. He is globally renowned speakers and speaks on the forum like World Investment Forum, Global Commodity Forum, Harvard Business Schools, and the others. And he is a national chairman of an Indian Global SME Chambers and the state president for Maharashtra CIM SME, and served as a various institutional committee and the task force. So once again back to Tea Talk Boond Soch ki, a real great profile, apt personality in taking up in discussion as far as agriculture aspects which are concerned, which you have done a lot of work as far as agri businesses which are concerned. Now just for the benefit of an audience, if you can just share your journey from your education till the first job, so that some of the challenges at the initial stage we all have, target audience will get some insights out of it.
Thank you. And it has been an interesting journey. I was not a very meritorious student, but always look forward for say new ways of learning, always keen on new concepts, new things. So very active into extracurricular studies like keeping an eye on what is happening in the economy, what is happening globally, what is the geopolitics doing. So right from childhood, quite interested in that. Not very structured in my educational approach, but that was something. Till 10th, I remember I was a very average student. 11th, 12th, I decided say more because of peer pressures, say decided to be an engineer, which by 11th I realized I'm not capable of. So 11th, 12th I did with mathematics, physics, chemistry, mathematics, and then decided to move into commerce, because that was something where I felt that I'm more suited for. I have more natural flair into, and I could do much better into commerce rather than engineering. So moved into commerce, did and at that point of of time there was something which which was quite attractive, was the company secretary course. It was a new course at that time. Not many people were doing it. Chartered accountancy was quite common, but company secretary was not so common. So something, and always had that flair of, as I said, doing something new and different from what others are doing. So jumped into the company secretary course, cleared my foundation examination along with my commerce, basic graduation in commerce, cleared my intermediate examination, and by that time I was in MBA. So I was faced with a choice of getting into law, getting into an MBA. Again, my gut feeling of getting into finance, getting into more structured commercial subjects, and took up my MBA in finance, which I completed in 2000. So by then I was still into the final course, the final certification course of the ICSI, the company secretary course, and realized that now it's all the colleagues, all the friends started to work, and it was like I'm still going through the education, something I need to do. And during my MBA I realized one thing, that teaching is something, or sharing my knowledge, and working into the knowledge sector is something which I am made for. So out of interest and out of my keen interest to keep my studies on along with my earning capacities, I started as a lecturer, as an assistant, as a visiting lecturer, and then joined as a full-time lecturer, just to continue my education, so that I would have enough, I would still connected with academics and all. That was my first job, getting into academics. During that period, I learned a lot about the new concepts that were coming up. Futures and options was something which were very new. As I said, I always had a flair of getting into something which is new, which is not explored, and I was the only person in my MBA who did a project on futures rather than the conventional stock markets related courses, and that is where I realized that this is an area where I can really work on. I come from a city called Indore, and Indore had one of the first commodity exchange platforms that was started. So where I started working along with my job as an lecturer, I started to work on strategies for various agriculture buyers and traders, how they can actually minimize their losses and improve their profits. And so that was my first taste with consulting.
Okay.
But it was more out of interest and more out of exploring myself more, rather than actually picking it up as a career option. So still career option for first few years was to complete my company secretary course and get into the compliance department of a multinational company, and start my career as a corporate compliance officer, which never happened.
And you were part of an MCX, like
yes.
So, what was your experience?
So, 2-3 years into the academics, I realized that I'm not just doing justice with my capabilities, and I can actually be more effective into on bigger platforms rather than just limiting myself to academics, and that's how I started exploring more. And got into MCX. MCX was a new concept as that time, because MCX had just completed 2 years of its existence. The government had allowed commodity futures to be traded in 2002. After that, 2003, MCX was set up, which was new. Not many people knew about it. So there was a lot of opportunity to get into research, get into knowledge development, get into trainings, get into a whole lot of knowledge related initiatives. And it was a virgin area where not many people were working. And I always, so when I look back into all my journey, I realized that what kept me going was doing something which nobody has ever done. So that's something that zeal to explore something new, zeal to explore something getting into uncharted territories, and that was where I got a very good opportunity in MCX. MCX gave me. We were into the knowledge development sector into MCX, and we did a lot of work in trainings, capacity development, product development. Even we contributed a lot, research. and that brought a lot of say satisfaction, because we are doing something which is not only creating a knowledge base for a company but for an industry as a whole. Because that point of time a lot of research was not available on commodity futures. Commodity futures was not part of formal education system into the MBA, and that all meant that whatever knowledge you create would be actually say more important to the society, not only to the company but to the society as a whole. And that gave a lot of satisfaction, and that's how I continued my job with MCX. So about 2.5 years I worked with MCX.
In fact, many times, like, once you're at a particular age, like even by doing your MBA, still you're confused, like, what I want to do in my career, like it's. So it seems while going to the conversation, MCX I think gave you a broader perspective of what actually you have to do, like as well, like which is concerned.
Yeah. So during my, as I said, during my graduation and early years of my post-graduation, I was very clear that being a compliance officer into a multinational company is what I want to do. This is where I belong to. And over a period of time started to realize that really that's not where my flair lies. That's not where my say that doesn't give me that level of satisfaction which something else would do. But what is that something else? So I started exploring, and in that process started doing things which nobody had ever earlier done. So we started doing consulting into, not exactly consulting, but we started doing structuring trades, which I realized that, and it was more because of my knowledge of finance and over a period of time, the economic understanding and the readings that I used to have. So and that became quite successful, and people started to value it. So that is where I realized that probably say I have been on the wrong track. My flair, my capabilities are more structured towards the agricultural markets and agricultural trade. I come from a city called Indore, and Indore is a hub for agricultural trade. So say you are surrounded by people, your friend circles are people who are deep into agriculture trade. So automatically you pick up a lot of things. But I realized that that's where excitement lies for me, and that's how I and that was further say that was one of the major reasons why I say preferred working with MCX, because then I could actually explore my flair and convert it into a career.
I think it's an excellent insights what we are getting from Dr. Bharat Kulkarni. Like basically, while he was part of an college doing his MBA and all, he was keen in exploring the possibilities of an futuristic things which are there, and he took an initiative in getting in depth into the subject matter. Now, in fact, it's very interesting to know from Dr. Bharat Kulkarni, like having take off from MCX and then gone to the larger platform, to the Eastern Southern African countries, and explore the possibilities of consultancy and work with an Ethiopia government for many years, and still like he keeps on shuttling between the African country and the India, like to explore the possibilities as well as agriculture part which are concerned. So stay tuned to ttalk ek Boond Soch ki for next episode with Dr. Bharat Kulkarni. If you like this episode, just go to www.ttalk.net, subscribe and like the channel as much as you can. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks a lot for being part of this episode.
Thank you very much, sir.